you are thinking of possibly moving there for this girl, baby, if he wanted to, he would, and he was not doing it for me. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Shalom Blac. Welcome, subscribe, and be part of this family. Today's video is kind of different from what I normally do, but you know what? I feel like I am in the year of transformation, of growth, and realization. So today's video is basically a list of things that I have learned to make me become the best version of myself. I have definitely transformed from that insecure little girl, and I have learned the things that I like and the things that I don't like, and how I want to be treated by society and how I want to treat myself as well. I feel like becoming the best version of yourself is something that takes time and it's a gradual thing. And I know I'm not fully there, but baby, I am far from where I came from. So let's get into today's video. And some of the makeup that I'm going to be using are mostly like new makeup that I just want to try. And some of them are makeup that I recently started trying and I'm loving. So I made my list of stuff and I got up to like 15 lists. I wanted to do like 20 or like 23 because we are in 2023, but I got 15. So, but if I'm talking and I have something else to say, I'm going to say it. So let's get into it. The first thing is, do not overextend yourself to new friends. And one of the reasons why I say that is because I feel like sometimes, or at least before, I was just overly... Sorry guys, so my microphone died. The battery needed to be changed. So I'm going to do a voiceover for just a few minutes and then I'm going to realize that the battery is dead and then I had to go change it and get the mic back on. But for this part, what I was saying is that I feel like I am a bit too nice when I meet people. And sometimes it's not everyone that has a good intention for me or for you, whatever, just speaking in general. And usually when those people come to your life that do not have good intention for you and they see that you are easily not manipulated, but that could be the word, or you're just like overly nice, they do take that and they take it for granted. And I felt like I've been through that way too many times, and this is something I had to learn, to stop being overly nice to people. Obviously I'm not going to be rude, but I'm just not going to make it easy for someone to have the opportunity to use me. So that is pretty much kind of what I meant by not overextending yourself to new friends. I mean, it could be the same for the friends that you might have for the longest time. Sometimes people are there to just use you, so you need to realize when that is happening and make some changes. And the next thing on my list is, do not spend your entire life chasing the perfect body. I feel like for so long, especially just like through high school and even after high school, I was so focused on my weight. And when I tell you, it had to be body dysmorphia, because I was literally like maybe 120 or even less. But in my mind, which I think has to be mental illness, which is a whole nother topic, in my mind, I was 200 pounds. Like one of my friend is as skinny as me, but I looked at her and I see skinny. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I'm skinny as her. When I look back into our prom photos now, we were literally the same size. But for some reason, I saw myself as someone that is like 200 pounds, which is not a problem. But to me, at that moment in my head, that was a problem. And I felt like I just never let myself be in the moment and enjoy what I was doing without focusing on what I looked like. So yeah, that's something I had to learn. Now that we have the mic back on, let's get back into the list. And the next thing on my list is giving myself grace, giving myself love, and especially like my skin. I feel like that is my me time. My skin does not need much. I do not need the 10 step to get my skin looking right and feeling right. And that is exactly why I've been loving the new Ole Henriksen product, and I've been using this for a few months now. Shout out to Ole Henriksen for sponsoring the self-care portion of this video. Introducing the Strength Moisturizer and Nourishing Face Oil. My skin has been enjoying using the Strength Trainer Peptide Boost Moisturizer, which is packed with peptide and ceramide that not only hydrates the skin but also repairs the roots of skin issue. And I've noticed that the pimple that I normally get before every circle did not show up since I started using this product, and my skin feels so much more plumper and appears to be brighter. To seal in the moisture all night, I will go in with the Hydrate Barrier Nourishing Face Oil, which is infused with cloudberry, lingonberry, and elderberry to help strengthen the skin barrier and minimize the appearance of wrinkle and fine line. And it works great at night and in the morning. And I also love to use it before applying my makeup because it just helps the makeup apply so silk and easy. And you guys are going to see that in this video. Self-care is very important, so shout out again to Ole Henriksen for sponsoring this portion of the video. I'm going to leave these two amazing products in the description bar down below, so make sure you guys check it out. And let's move on to the next thing. To the next thing on my list that I feel like I have learned throughout the years, but especially noticing how a lot of people online are complaining about this thing, and that has to do with like showing up for the people that you want to show up for you. So I show up for my friends and family. In return, they do the same. But I feel like it's something that I had to learn, because I feel like we forget that it's not all about us. Like, yeah, it can be all about you, but you need people for it to be about you. You know what I mean? But I feel like people forget, they don't show up for other people, and then when they want people to show up for them and they don't show up for them, they're freaking out, and you cannot do that. So one thing I've learned is definitely show up for the people that have show up for me, and the same energy goes back. Like I'm gonna give you guys an example. Like, you know, there's someone that I consider a friend, and I felt like I have shown up for them, for their brand and like their birthday, everything like that. I've definitely did it just because this person is my friend, and that is what you do. But one thing I realized is that that person was not showing up for me. So like vice versa, personally for me, this is one of the reasons why I say like don't overextend yourself to everyone. I showed up for this person, and when I would invite them to any of my things, like my birthday or anything like that, they would never come. And I have to take that with a grain of salt and give the same energy back. It's just simple as that. And recently, like, they invited me to their birthday, and mind you, this person like did not speak to me. Not say like, it's not like we're beefing, but like we haven't talked, because again, like we're friends, but we're not like friends, you know what I mean? And the person literally I haven't spoken to in like so long randomly just sent me like an invite to their birthday party. And to me, that is just a sign of like you wanting to have as many people at your party, so you can be like, oh, look at all the people that came to my party. And not to be petty, like I did not respond to the text or showed up, and that is because I feel like that person was never showing up for me for the many times that I showed up for. And I feel like it's going to be like that for some people. Like you would show up for some people and they would never give you that same energy back. I know my true friends, and like if they have something that's going on, even if I don't have the energy or strength to really go, or I don't feel like driving, I would still go because those people show up for me, and I would love to also do the same for them, because it feels amazing like to turn around and see your friend like behind you, like, you know, supporting you and backing you up. So yeah, that's like one thing I feel like I've learned to show up for people and stop showing up for the people that never show up for me. But anyway, the next thing is not dwelling in things that I cannot change. I just feel like there's just certain things that will pop up in life that you cannot change, and instead of like staying so stagnant on that thing and constantly just focusing on those things, try to move on, or at least go through it and move on, instead of like being stuck on that issue or situation or whatever. Like I said, some things cannot be changed, especially humans. You can't change them. This is off topic, but do you guys see how my foundation look, like how it just like applies on and it's still giving very much skin? You see that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when I told you guys about the oil. Like this with the moisturizer, it's okay. So this next thing, I know not everyone is gonna agree with, but then again, these are things that I feel like I've learned, and that is not dating for fun and then have expectations later. We can't be doing that. I personally stopped doing that because I feel like, again, the fear of like catching feelings for someone, and so you go in with the thought of like, you know what, let's just have fun and just do whatever and not have a title or commitment. And then later on, like you're having real good fun with the person might even be a great person, and you're seeing all these wonderful things that that person is doing, and now you're like, I want this. You're catching feelings real slow, because I was catching feelings real slow, and then you hit the person up with the question like, so what are we? That person already has already made up their mind that, oh, this is fun. And let's be honest, sometimes women, like, if you say this is fun, they're going to take it as that this is fun. So I had to be honest with myself, like in what I want, and fun is not all I want. Like we could definitely have fun in a relationship, but like this is what I'm looking for. I'm not afraid to ask for it, to tell you that this is what I'm looking for. You know, I feel like sometimes we feel like we cannot be honest about what we want and need because we don't want to chase the person away, but also like you're not hurting anybody but yourself by not just being honest and saying like, hey, this is what I want, and maybe you're not on the same page. Maybe the person is not going to be on the same page, but that's fine. Instead of like wasting your time, there was this person that I initially started the whole like, oh yeah, let's just have fun, like I just want to have fun, like nothing serious. But also like he wasn't such a bad person. Like, you know, I was like, wow, I could do life with this person, you know. Well, I could do something serious with this person. And I ended up like asking for like, what are we doing next? Like for a title, like, come on, you know what I mean? And I remember at that time I was living in LA. I had my house, but I had my apartment, and he lived like in where I live at now. And the person literally told me that going to LA, which is like an hour drive, was too much for them. Like, I cannot do that. Like, you're all the way in LA and I'm here an hour away. Okay. And that's why they say if he wanted to, he would. Okay. And this person didn't want to, and he would not. So he tells me, no, that's too far. He cannot do the long distance. I'm like, it's an hour away. And I still have my house here, which I come to. But then we stopped talking. Few months later, I guess we started talking again, and I noticed that he went to DC, and I was like, oh, like, what did you go to DC for? And this person tells me, oh, he went on a date and he's thinking about moving out there. So in my mind, I'm sitting there. I was like, so you went all the way to DC from California to DC to go on a date, and you are thinking of possibly moving there for this girl. Baby, if he wanted to, he would, and he was not doing it for me. He was not going to do it for me. And if that wasn't something I had to learn the hard way, I don't know what else is. But I took that and I was just like, okay. And I really think that's when I realized, and I'm gonna say it again, that if he wanted to, he would. And that was the lesson from going from, oh, I just want to have fun, to now expecting things and then being disappointed that the person is not going to give you that thing, because I should have never came in with that energy. But also, like, it wasn't meant to be with us anyway, so I don't care. That was in the past, and that shall stay in the past, period. This next one for me is, I do not need to see that person one last time to get a closure. You do not need to see that person one more time to get a closure, baby. You can find your closure. Okay, you better start looking for your closure without having to see that person one more time. And I feel like that has been something that I've done.
That's a lie.
You do not need to see that person.
I do.
No, you don't. Let me tell it to my sister. You do not need to see that person one more time to get closure, baby. You can get your closure without seeing them. I think like that is something that personally, it just did not work. You know what I mean? I don't know if I have done it, but it's something I've learned that I don't need it. But I feel like I have friends. I mean, y'all just heard my sister say, yeah, you do. I don't know. I just feel like if it ended for a reason. And I'm pretty sure you already know what the reason is, even if the person did not open their mouth and tell you exactly what it is. And they probably would never open their mouth and tell you what it was, because it probably wasn't nothing. And they just were not ready to be either committed to you or to be honest with you. So to me, like, going to see that person, like, you have to go see the person to get that closure, is absolutely BS. I don't think you need it. I don't think I need it. And I don't think I've ever, have I ever? I just feel like when you see that person and you get to talking, they're probably still not gonna tell you what the truth is. They might tell you what they want you to hear, and the next minute, you know, you are back in bed with that person. So baby, no, you don't. Find your closure somewhere else. Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
And the next thing that I've learned is that you do not have to be BFF with every single friend that you have. I feel like there are certain friends that you can tell everything to, and then you have certain friends that is just light on the surface. You don't have to know the ins and outs, you know, of the friendship. And I feel like they're friends like that, again, you can share those intimate conversation with. And then you have those friends that are literally just for like having fun because they will have a good time. And then you have those friends that are just chill friends that just want to come and just sit in the house and not do anything. And then you have friends on social media. And I always say this, like, I have a lot of social media friends, and I literally only have 3 close friends. To be honest, even with those 3, I only have 1 that I could literally call anytime for literally anything. Okay, and the next thing I've learned is to not let anyone make me feel like an option. And it could literally be in any like circumstance, like even a job. Like, I don't want to let anyone make me feel like an option, or I'm like disposable or anything like that, because I'm not. I'm a whole human being with feelings and all of that. So we're not gonna stand for feeling like the option, like the second option. And I'll give this as example of when I was back in high school, and I was messing with this guy, you know, and I was so sure. I think I told you guys the story before, but I was just so sure that I'm gonna be the girl that he asked to prom, because like literally you're telling me everything about your life. I'm listening. I'm always low-key there for this person. So like when it comes to prom, I'm not even thinking that they was like an option until homeboy made it apparent that you are the option. You are an option. And he basically went to prom with the other girl. But after he told me, he was like, yeah, I don't know who I'm gonna take. Maybe it's gonna be you or her. And he said it so casually. And I remember, I feel like at that time, I don't even know what was going on. So to me, it was like, oh, okay. But then when he did go to prom with the other girl, I felt hurt. I was like, damn, he didn't pick me. I've never actually used Jaclyn Hill's like makeup. Well, I've used the collaboration that she did with Becca. You guys remember Becca? But I've never actually used her actual product from her brand. And this is my first time. This is the Face It All Correcting Press Powder. But I'm kind of using it to like warm up my face. And it's actually kind of nice. Okay, cute. I like it. I feel like I realized this actually like few years ago, and that has to be, you cannot, now let me make sure I read it properly. Oh, okay, this is how I wrote it. It's okay to leave some people behind. I'm gonna repeat that again. It's okay to leave some people behind, and this is what I put. If I stayed friends with some of the people from high school, I don't think I would become the person that I am today. And I'm literally talking about like in the whole aspect of me, like becoming the open-minded person that I have become, becoming the content creator that I am today, seeing things different, willing to give things a try. I feel like if I stayed friends with some of the people that I was friends with in high school, or at least cool with, I feel like honestly I didn't really have friends like that. But if I was to stay friends with those people, I think I would be a completely different person, because I do feel like the environment that you grow in does kind of shape you to be the person that you are. And I just felt like that environment just was not the best for me, and I'm glad that I'm out of there. I've been graduated high school in 2014, so it's been a few years, and so to see people still doing like the same thing, it's like, yeah, I think if I stayed there, will stay friends with these people, I'm gonna think that that was okay way to live my life. And also like there's no pressure obviously for everyone to be on the same level. I will get into that later, but I just feel like it was the best decision for me to kind of take myself out of that, and I am grateful that I was able to. And also like starting my platform and stuff really helped me to get out, even though I didn't even know that that is what I was doing. So yeah, we have a few more things that I'm gonna run through, but I don't want to finish my makeup and then run through them, so I'm gonna just do my eyes real quick. And literally, if you guys know me, you know, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this, but I'm not really your eyeshadow girl. Every now and then I put on something on my eyelid, but I'm just using the Fenty powder in the shade, well, this is the Fenty powder foundation. This is in the shade 490, and I just like to put it like above my crease to just like warm it up and like give me a shape. And this is literally what I use. Instead of like going into an eyeshadow palette, I would normally just go for this because it's easy, it's quick, and it gets the job done. I'm just gonna put some powder on my lid. I do have to share this with you guys because I'm so excited to finally use this. This is from the Nessa Merrick, and this is the Twin Flame. It's a multi-chrome pigment. It's for eyes and face, and the shade that I have it in is Young Love. And when I tell y'all, this is literally the most beautiful thing ever. Let me try to swatch it. It's so pretty. But what does the Nessa Merrick have that is not so pretty? But I'm just gonna, I don't know. I think I'm gonna use my finger because I don't want to put too much. I just want like a little bit on my eyelid to just give me something. Oh my God, it's so pretty. All right, so the next thing on my list is Delegate and Ask for Help. And let me just say that this has helped me with like my anxiety towards the ending of last year, because I felt like for so long I just really did not know how to ask for help and how to like just like let people actually help me. Yeah, you can do it by yourself, but I feel like you will go so much farther if you just ask for help. And maybe sometimes you feel like you do not want to like bother anyone. You don't want to like make someone just like get out of what they are doing to help you. But when I tell you, it is so helpful to just get maybe another opinion of someone else, or to get someone to just do something for you so you can do something else, making you move up the ladder than just stay stagnant because you feel like you have to do everything yourself. And I do understand like it's a trust issue for me for so long. Like even if I'm paying people, I just feel like, oh, let me just do it myself because I would get it done perfectly. But then also it takes me twice the time to get other things done because I'm literally doing a million things by myself versus like getting someone to help me do that and just asking for help. And also delegating. I have my cousin as my assistant, but sometimes like it's so hard for me to ask her to like do things just because she's like my older cousin. I'm like, oh, I don't want to like make her feel like I'm asking her to do stuff, but I'm also paying her. And I feel like I started taking charge like of my like business and actually saying like, hey, I need this done. Even like with my new management, like I just wouldn't really say anything. And like I said, last year I definitely started like kind of speaking up like, oh, I just need to know like what's going on. And it just felt great because this is my business and I need to take charge. And just because you're taking charge doesn't mean that you are rude or anything. Obviously, don't do it in a rude way or anything like that. But just like make sure that things are getting done. Make sure you're asking for the help. And also understanding like what is going on in your life if you have a business, that, or just like anything, honestly. So I would say like I've learned to do that and I love it. Love it. So the next thing on the list is communicating. I think it's just so important, like even with friendship, relationship. And I feel like I'm not that person that really likes to keep things in. Like if something was to happen or I feel a certain way, I definitely would let you know like right away, like, hey, this is how I feel. I don't like to let things like fester and become like poison, you know what I mean? So I would rather just tell you like right away, like this is what this made me feel. And yeah. And my next thing that I feel like I have learned and I feel like I've gotten better with has to be consistency. I don't know, there's just something about staying consistent that I feel like makes me feel like I am on a flow versus like as soon as I get off of that consistent boat that I'm on, it just like makes things like so much harder for me to get back, which is like something I would say like with my YouTube. For so long I did stop being consistent, and when I say I've been wanting to like get back on that like YouTube content creation and the passion that I had for it, but it was so hard because I stopped being consistent for so long. For me to get back was so hard. But when I tell you guys, as soon as I got back on it and I was like consistent at least for like 3 weeks, it felt so great. And sitting down and filming a video or just picking up the camera and doing what I love to do, and that is also my job, it felt like just second nature again. Like, oh wow. And so I feel like when you get your body used to certain things, it really does become easier versus doing it one time, taking a break, doing it again, taking a break. That literally makes it so much harder to get back to the flow of things. So I feel like consistency really does help to just like, I don't know, make your life so much easier. So let me do my lip liner, and then we're gonna go into the last thing I have on my list. And the last thing I want to mention that I have learned is to stop being so hard on myself. I feel like with society, it is very easy for us to see that, oh, someone so young has bought this house, has this many cars, has this kind of cars, and then we start being so hard on ourselves to try to meet up to those expectations. And I feel like I've learned to not be hard on myself. I have achieved so much in my young adult life, but at this moment I just need to be still and be grateful for all the achievement that I have like achieved, and all the things that I have done, and the people that I have touched, and not just be so hard. Like, it's gonna be okay. And I have so many years to do other things that I don't have to have everything figured out right now and right here. I'm doing enough, and that I am enough. This is pretty much the end of this video, but I also want to know from you guys, what is something that you have learned that is making you become the person that you are, or that helped you become the person that you are today? And before I go, I do want to give another shout out to the sponsor, Ola Harrison, for sponsoring today's video. And again, I'm going to leave everything that I used in the description bar down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give the video a huge thumbs up so that it lets me know that you guys like this kind of content and when I post my next video. Thank you, and remember to always be your own kind of beautiful, because you are beautiful, period. Bye.